Hello and welcome. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran and this is Voice of the Global South. All right then, let's get started. On the show this week, renewed fighting at the border between Thailand and Cambodia claims more lives, including civilians. Is an all-out war likely? Racism rears its ugly head again. 2 Indians attacked in Australia and Ireland sparks a familiar debate about anti-Indian racism. And how the images of a British fighter jet stranded in India become a subject of jokes and memes. All that and much, much more coming up on Voice of the Global South. It began with gunfire before dawn, a sudden, sharp reminder that Southeast Asia's oldest border dispute is far from resolved. By the time the smoke cleared, dozens of people were dead, tens of thousands had been evacuated, and Thailand and Cambodia were once again locked in a bitter standoff. The latest military confrontation erupted on 24th of July. Fighting began just hours after Thailand recalled its ambassador to Phnom Penh the previous night and expelled Cambodia's envoy in response to a second Thai soldier losing a limb to a landmine which Bangkok alleged had been laid by rival troops. Cambodia has dismissed the allegations as baseless. Now, both sides blamed each other for starting the conflict, which quickly escalated from a small arms fire to heavy shelling. Within hours, the situation had spiraled out of control. Thai officials accused Cambodia of starting hostilities with drone surveillance flights over Thai military positions. Cambodia countered, claiming that it was Thai soldiers who had broken a prior agreement by advancing on a sacred Hindu temple.
Today, Thailand attacked Cambodia at 8 locations. The attacks used heavy weaponry, including F-16 jets dropping bombs in Chamakchek area in Prevehir province.
The current tensions can be traced back to February 2025, when a group of Cambodians, escorted by troops, sang their national anthem at an ancient Hindu temple that both countries claim before being stopped by Thai soldiers. Tensions flared again on 28th of May following the killing of a Cambodian soldier during a brief exchange of gunfire. Thailand has since closed its border crossings with Cambodia, and Cambodia in turn has banned the import of Thai fruits, vegetables, spa and internet services. For civilians caught in the crossfire, the situation is nothing short of devastating.
We were looking after my mother at home and we heard gunshots, bang, 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 booming loudly, and then continuous boom, boom sounds of explosions. I turned to my mother and said, "Oh my God, Mom." Then I quickly told her, "Mom, get in the car," and we rushed off. We got in the car so fast, we didn't bring anything with us.
The international reaction was quick. The US, a treaty ally of Thailand, called for an immediate cessation of hostilities, protection of civilians and a peaceful resolution. China, which enjoys close ties with Cambodia, hoped that both sides could properly resolve issues through dialogue and consultations. And Malaysia's Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, who is the current chairperson of ASEAN, of which Thailand and Cambodia are members, said that he had spoken to the leaders of both countries and urged them to find a peaceful way out. Now, one has to go back in history to understand the genesis of the dispute. An 11th century Hindu temple called Prevehir or Khao Pra Viharn in Thailand has been at the heart of the dispute for decades on end, with both Bangkok and Phnom Penh claiming historical ownership. The International Court of Justice awarded the temple to Cambodia in 1962, but Thailand has continued to lay claim to the surrounding land. Tensions escalated in 2008 after Cambodia attempted to list the Pre Vihir temple as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, leading to skirmishes over several years and at least a dozen deaths, including during a week-long exchange of artillery in 2011. 2 years later, Cambodia sought interpretation of the 1962 verdict, and the ICJ again ruled in its favor, saying that the land around the temple was also part of Cambodia and ordering Thai troops to withdraw. Let me now give you a brief history of the contested border. The 817-kilometer-long Thailand-Cambodia land border was first mapped by France in 1907 when Cambodia was its colony. That map, which Thailand later contested, was based on an agreement that the border would be demarcated along the natural watershed line between the two countries. In the Second World War, the Kingdom of Siam, which encompassed Thailand's current territory, gained certain Cambodian territories, but it was forced to hand them back to French rule in 1946. The 1979 overthrow of Cambodia's communist Khmer Rouge regime blurred the boundaries further as its last members fled to the border region for refuge. In 2000, the two countries agreed to establish a joint boundary commission to peacefully address overlapping claims, but little progress has been made towards settling disputes. Claims over ownership of historical sites have raised nationalist tension between the two countries, notably in 2003 when rioters torched the Thai embassy and Thai businesses in Phnom Penh over an alleged remark by a Thai celebrity questioning jurisdiction over Cambodia's World Heritage-listed Angkor Wat temple. So that's the context for the latest flare-up. The neighbors have issued diplomatically worded statements committing themselves to peace while vowing to protect sovereignty, but their militaries have been mobilizing near the border. Cambodia said that existing mechanisms were not working and it planned to refer disputes in 4 border areas to the ICJ to settle unresolved and sensitive issues that it said could escalate tensions. Thailand has not recognized the ICJ's rulings on the row. Since the latest round of clashes, Cambodia has written to the UN Security Council about what it described as unprovoked and premeditated military aggression by Thailand. But Thailand wanted to resolve the conflict through bilateral negotiations. It said that talks could only take place after Cambodia ceased violence. So is there any hope for de-escalation? Official rhetoric is cautiously optimistic, if deeply fraught. Thailand's acting Prime Minister Phumtham Vichayachai called the situation delicate and stressed the need for resolution in line with international law. Cambodia's Prime Minister Hun Manet echoed the desire for peace but warned that his country has no choice but to respond with armed force against armed aggression. It is this tension between diplomacy and deterrence that's at the heart of the problem. Recent history is littered with border disputes that spiral into long-term hostilities. But could this one still be stopped? In part, the answer may depend not just on policy, but on personality. In Cambodia, Prime Minister Hun Manet is new to the role. He is still standing in the shadow of his father and longtime strongman, Hun Sen. Hun Sen's enduring influence seems to push for a more aggressive posture, possibly to reinforce his nationalist legacy. So as things stand, Hun Manet appears to lack the political capital needed to pursue a peaceful solution on his own. Thailand's leadership is equally complex. The country is currently governed by a fragile coalition, itself supported by another former strongman, Thaksin Shinawatra. Once a close confidant of Hun Sen, Thaksin now finds himself on uncertain footing. An effort by his daughter Petongtan Shinawatra to de-escalate the situation in a phone call with Hun Sen spectacularly backfired after a recording of the conversation was initially leaked and later released in full by the Cambodian leader. In the call, Petongtan Shinawatra appeared to criticize a Thai army commander and kowtow to Hun Sen, drawing public fury and a complaint from a group of lawmakers which led to a suspension by a court order on 1st of July. Clearly, trust between the two sides, it appears, is in shorter supply than ever.
We will not surrender our nation's sovereignty. We are fully defending ourselves, and I affirm that the Thai government will take full care of our people and do everything within our power and under the circumstances to the best of our ability.
While neither country appears eager for a full-scale war, both are entangled in a nationalist narrative that makes compromise look like weakness. Without bold leadership on both sides, the potential for renewed conflict remains dangerously high. Ultimately, the questions loom larger than any single battle. Latest reports say that at least 33 people have been killed, 20 in Thailand and 13 in Cambodia, and more than 130,000 people have been displaced in Thailand and 35,000 in Cambodia in the worst fighting between the Southeast Asian neighbors in 13 years. The latest conflict has involved fighter jets, artillery, tanks and ground troops, prompting the UN Security Council to hold an emergency meeting on Friday. The questions we ask and find answers to are the following. How do nations reconcile a century of unresolved borders and mistrust? And who takes the first step towards peace when history and politics are urging them to stand their ground? Deadly assaults on Indian nationals abroad reignite a debate about racism. An Indian student was assaulted in Australia. The attackers hurled racial insults at him while it was all being filmed by his wife. Another Indian was attacked in Ireland. Ragini Sudhir Chore reports.
A disturbing attack in Adelaide, Australia has sent shockwaves through the international students community. A 23-year-old Indian student lies in a hospital bed with brain trauma after what began as a dispute over parking that quickly turned into something far more sinister. 19th of July was meant to be just another ordinary weekend, but for Charanpreet Singh, it became the most harrowing night of his life. Singh was sitting in his car when a group of 5 men approached him, attacked him, and allegedly yelled racist slurs at him. Singh was left unconscious on the road. Bystanders rushed to help him. Paramedics soon arrived on the spot and transported him to the hospital. He sustained a brain trauma and multiple facial fractures. Speaking from his hospital bed, Singh says the attack has deeply shaken him up. Police have since arrested a 20-year-old man in connection with the assault. He's been charged with causing harm, but the other attackers remain at large. Police were reviewing CCTV footage and urging witnesses to come forward with information. The attack has drawn strong condemnation. A local politician called the assault unacceptable. Anytime we see any evidence of any racial attack, it is completely unwelcomed in our state, quote unquote, he said. The Indian community has rallied around Singh, expressing anger, fear and concern. Many wonder whether it is just about a parking spot or something deeper. Is enough being done to protect foreign students who contribute not only to the economy but to the very fabric of multicultural Australia? And it's not just Australia. On the same day in Ireland's capital, Dublin, another Indian man, this time in his 40s, was hospitalized after what the authorities are calling mindless racist violence. The attack took place just weeks after the man arrived in the country. India's ambassador to Ireland, Akhilesh Mishra, expressed outrage, saying, and I quote him, "How can an alleged assault cause such horrible injury and bleeding?" unquote. Two countries, two brutal attacks, both on the same day. Coincidence? Or are these just signs of growing intolerance across part of the world? Charanpreet Singh is still recovering, but his scars will linger for longer, as will the questions the attack raises. Police investigations continue in both Adelaide and Dublin. And as communities demand justice, the question remains, when will hate stop hiding behind every day? The Indian government data shows that there has been a rise in incidents of hate-related attacks on Indian students abroad. According to data released by the Ministry of External Affairs in April 2025, 91 Indian students have been violently attacked abroad in the last 5 years, with 30 deaths linked to such assaults. The highest number of attacks took place in Canada, where 16 Indians were killed, followed by Russia and the United Kingdom. Indians belonging to all professions have been increasingly targeted abroad. The combined number of attacks against and murders of Indians overseas rose sharply from 29 in 2021 to 57 in 2022 and 86 in 2023. In Australia, a wave of hate-related incidents resurfaced in early 2023, beginning with the vandalism of Sri Shiva Vishnu Temple in Melbourne in the month of January. This was followed in February 2023 by a similar defacement of ISKCON Temple in Brisbane. Both the incidents marked by anti-India slogans linked to extremist groups. In March 2023, another Hindu temple in Melbourne was targeted, triggering fears of a coordinated hate campaign. Around the same time in April 2023, an Indian student in Sydney was physically assaulted after enduring racial slurs near a university campus. The assailant was later arrested and charged. In August 2024, an Indian grocery store in Melbourne was attacked and set on fire, resulting in heavy property loss and sparking an investigation into possible racial motives. By February 2025, an Indian woman in Adelaide was harassed with racial slurs and spit upon while walking her child. A video of the incident circulated widely, leading to charges under racial vilification laws. In June 2025, an Indian Uber driver in Sydney was dragged out of his vehicle and beaten by passengers who reportedly hurled racist insults. The Indian-Australian community protested the incident, demanding stronger protections for minority workers. Well, these are not just attacks made on people, but targets race, ethnicity, and the country people belong to. Ragni Sudhir Chauri for DD India.
The prolonged presence of a British fighter jet on Indian soil sparked curiosity and raised questions about how such a modern aircraft could remain stranded in a foreign country for so long. Ragini Sudhir Chauri reports on how the images of the highly advanced stealth jet parked on the tarmac became a subject of jokes and memes.
A British F-35B fighter jet stranded in India for more than a month took off from the Thiruvananthapuram airport on 22nd July. It was not a planned diplomatic stop or a show of air power, but the grounding of the $115 million fifth-generation warplane over technical glitches sparked memes and cartoons on social media. Now, the F-35 is no ordinary aircraft. It is one of the most advanced and expensive military aircraft in the world today. The F-35 can reach speeds of up to 1,900 kilometers per hour. It all began on the night of 14th June. The jet took off from the HMS Prince of Wales aircraft carrier, which was operating in the Arabian Sea. About 30 minutes into the flight, the jet encountered a technical snag. It issued a distress call and sought emergency landing at the Thiruvananthapuram airport in the southern Indian state of Kerala. What followed was an unexpected turn in military aviation history. For the next 38 days, the jet stayed grounded. Week 1 brought tropical Kerala monsoon showers. India offered hangar space, but the British declined, allegedly over concerns of security and potential espionage. So there it stood, a stealth fighter parked in the rain, exposed. By week 2, a 40-member team of British engineers arrived to fix the aircraft. But the jet wasn't done playing tourist. No one could figure out what exactly had gone wrong with the aircraft. The only information that filtered out was that there were certain issues with the hydraulics and auxiliary power unit of the aircraft. Meanwhile, the internet did what it does best. One user listed the F-35 for sale online. Another joked about the plane not wanting to leave Kerala. No wonder it refuses to leave now. Bro found peas, toddy and banana chips, read the post. Kerala Tourism saw in it a wonderful opportunity to advertise itself. Its official handle on X carried an illustration of the F-35B with the caption, "Kerala is such an amazing place. I don't want to leave. Definitely recommend," along with 5-star rating. By the third week, the British appeared to have run out of quick fixes. The world watched a $100 million aircraft sit idle, wrapped in red tape and mechanical mystery. It wasn't until week 4 that the jet was finally moved into a hangar and underwent a full teardown. Slowly, engineers managed to identify and resolve the issue. On 22nd July, the jet finally took off from Kerala and headed for Darwin in Australia to rejoin the HMS Prince of Wales aircraft carrier. It was a high-stakes technical failure of a strategic asset, but in the age of instant content, it became an internet spectacle. While serious questions remain about the reliability of the F-35 that the US is actively pitching to India, the humor served as a reminder of how global audiences engage with defense, diplomacy, and delay. In the end, what was supposed to be a brief layover became an unexpected vacation, complete with memes, a parking fee, and, well, diplomatic silence. Ragni Sudhir Chori for DD India.
And it's a wrap. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.